crazy already. I keep hitting that button too early. I tell ya. Sorry about that. Anyhow, welcome to Paul's Take, and this is my take on buying a vehicle. Now, I'm a car guy, like you are. Or maybe you're not a car guy. You just saw the title and said, hey, what is the smartest way to buy a vehicle? Good question. Well, let me tell you, buying a car, first of all, is like the worst investment you can do, right? It's the dumbest thing you can do. Um, it's a waste of money. Think about it. The one thing, now, if you're following my show, you're like following my different videos, you may not realize, and obviously, if you've never seen my stuff, you definitely wouldn't realize that um, before previously, in a earlier life, or this life a long time ago, I was trying to be this investor, just stockbroker, not broker, stock like a trader. Yeah. So I got my account, online account, and I was buying and selling and selling and buying. And I read a lot of books on investing. So I got kind of savvy on investment, except for the fact that I was terrible at it. I was the worst investor. Actually, to be completely honest, I think I am the grim reaper of investing. It seemed like whatever stock I went for, it just that was it for that stock. I was able to magically catch the tops of every stock that I invested in. So I'd buy, and it seemed like it made sense. Do some reviews, check out the charts, you know, look at all the stuff you're supposed to look at. Nonetheless, buy and then nosedives. So I'd be like, buy another stock, a safe stock, and nosedive. That was my that was my record. That was my I don't know. That was happening to me. I don't know why. So I think I was like not meant to mess with stocks. That was what I was taking out of it. The universe had other plans for me. Stock market investing was not it. It did seem like a lot of fun though, but it didn't work out. So what are you gonna do? So in these books, you learn that money is should be when you buy something, you should get something out of it, right? Obviously, and the best scenario is you buy something and then it makes you money. That's investing in something else, not a stock, but in things in general. The best investment, of course, is a house. That's your number one investment. Before stocks, before gold, before whatever you invest in, cars, your number one investment should be a house. Because otherwise, you're just throwing money away in rent, just tossing it in the trash. If you're paying $1,200 a month on rent, that is, it's gone. What are you going to get out of it after that month? Nothing. It's like food, I guess. You have to do it. You don't want to live on the streets, right? But it makes much more sense if you're disciplined to get a really low price apartment, as low as you can, in a relatively as safe as you feel comfortable neighborhood, and save your money like crazy and get yourself a house. Got some cats over here making noises. Anyways, so that's the smartest thing you can do, buy a house. That's where basically my life came together when I started buying my first house. Not buying it to be an investment, but realizing that throwing money, we're paying rent, was throwing money in the trash. You got nothing out of it after that month. So, moving right along to vehicles. A vehicle sucks because, like, I'm a car guy. I love really cool vehicles, right? The cooler, the better. Um, but as soon as you buy a brand new vehicle and you pull it off the lot, everybody knows this. This is not new. This is not breaking story here. As soon as you pull it off the lot, the value drops crazy like, especially a new vehicle. A $30,000 vehicle, if you were to turn around and trade it the next day, if it's your average vehicle, for trading value, you'd be lucky to get for 30, maybe 22, 23. I used to work at a dealership, so I know. I seen the carnage. It was disgusting. I felt so bad for people. I actually got out of the car business because I figured I was going straight to hell. So I was like, I didn't want that. But I seen people, man, in tears, in tears. They buy a car, and I didn't have it for like a year, and realized I needed a different kind of car. They tried to trade it in. They would get killed within the first year, and they would go away literally in tears. It was terrible. But you got to drive, right? You got to drive. It's important. Don't want to walk. Don't want to take the bus. What in the world? You got to drive. So now, granted, if you're rich like me, and you could walk into a dealership and spend cash on a car, and it wasn't even like phasing you, then it doesn't really matter if you're just throwing that money in the trash or not. But if like $40,000 for a car, which is it's a nice car, right? 40, but it's still not even to the high end stuff, super high. It's nice for me, but $40,000 could nearly buy you. I've seen properties in the Outer Banks. Of course, there's no house on it, but a property going for 50,000 in Outer Banks. I mean, whoa! So you can buy a house out here probably as low as 120. But this is not even like a terrible neighborhood. This is just like a basic starter home for like 120. So think about it. That's three cars. And then when you turn around and sell it, all that money comes right back to you. You know what I'm saying? And if you're lucky, the value went up, then you're really styling. As long as it's not a money pit. But different story. So like I said, so we'll get what is the smart choice? Because obviously even if you buy a used car from a dealer, they still, if you try to sell it, you'll still take a hit, but you won't take as big of a hit as if it was a new car. But because at least on a used car, like if you bought a used car for 12, well they probably spent 7 or 8 for it. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to make their little profit. But how do they make that profit? They basically had to get that car for less. That's you trying to sell the car back. But nonetheless, I think a good price for a good car, because you don't want a dumpy car. You still want a reliable vehicle, correct? But if you're in for the Spartan money, if you want to like, if you're planning ahead for the future, trying to get yourself in a situation where at some point you could go walk into a place and buy a car cash, but you can't do that when you're paying rent. If you're paying rent, that's what this title should be. If you're paying rent, this should be your car. That's the first thing you need to do is get your house. Don't buy if you have a nice car in your apartment, you're an idiot. I'm sorry, you are. Get yourself a house first, then worry about the nice car. But you still need a car. You want a reliable car. So what would I